What is up? My name is Garrett on Twitter, YOOGRTT. Thank you so much for tuning into the Now Notation YouTube channel. Welcome back to another album review. Today we are talking about somebody who I've never actually brought up on this channel, and that is none other than lilbootycall. And he is somebody who you might know from, I don't know, I actually don't know him from this album, but he has a previous little EP of 5 tracks by the name of Light Thief from 2016. But more famously, I think you're going to know him from singles such as Sailor Moon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Aquafina, etc. But the exciting thing from him is just the overall aesthetic of colored hair, but also kind of this like just don't give a fuck vibe that it kind of comes across as. But also you're kind of caught off guard with one, a name like lilbootycall, and two, just the way that he kind of tackles these airy type beats. It's very melodic, but also when he puts out this other voice, it's very deep, so there's kind of a good contrast between the two. And if you just go off of Sailor Moon, which is just kind of like this viral music video that has existed for a few years, I feel like now, it was one of those first things that kind of showed, to me at least, that SoundCloud could translate to a YouTube video and have that kind of pop off a song in a different way. And I think this is like a perfect example if you do go look at something like Sailor Moon, especially for the time that it did come out, because I swear that is like one of those OG like SoundCloud music videos to me. So to now see him sign to Warner Brothers Records and just kind of to see where this new album would take him and how the features with the mainstream would go, I caught myself kind of off guard and just enjoying this overall album pretty fantastically. Let's just jump into the track listing real quick. I want to just throw this out there though. Genius does have it wrong as far as I'm concerned. The track list in the order that I have been listening to it on Apple Music does differ from this, but I'll read both just to kind of get it forward. Track number 1 is When It's Cold. This is according to Genius, which to me is wrong because I listened to them in a different order via Apple Music, and I assume SoundCloud and etc. is the same, so don't know what's up with this. But track number 1 via Genius is When It's Cold. Track number 2 is I Don't. Track number 3 is 777 featuring Kuko. I never really have paid attention to how to say his name, so I do apologize. I'm going to go Kuko, and y'all can just fucking yell at me later. And J Quest. Track number 4 is 666. Track number 5 is Prescription featuring Gold Link. Track number 6 is Mariah. Track number 7 is Band-Aid. Track number 8 is 18K featuring Juicy J. Track number 9 is Hate Me. Track number 10 is Jesus Said Run It Back. And track number 11 is Die No More. I'm going to pull up the Apple Music one, and this is the order that I have heard it, so this is the context that I am presenting my opinions in. Track number 1 is Band-Aid. Track number 2 is Hate Me. Track number 3 is 777 featuring Kuko and Quest. Track number 4 is 18K featuring Juicy J, and I love how that flows when I say that out loud. That's fire, bro. That's fire. Track number 5 is Prescriptions featuring Gold Link. Track number 6 is Mariah. Track number 7 is 666. Track number 8 is When It Gets Cold. Track number 9 is I Don't. Track number 10 is Die No More. And track number 11 is Jesus Said Run It Back. I just noticed that this is being distributed under the name of Glow Up Music, but I don't know what type of division that is of Warner Brothers. But last I checked, this guy is signed to Warner Brothers Music, Records, etc., whatever you want to call them. Cool. But yeah, this is a typical kind of presentation, I would say, of someone who is signed to a record label and kind of had a single that did pop off to get them signed, and now we're kind of seeing how the industry, quote unquote, is going to allow them to put out the music, and how it's going to reflect the artistry that we have known or become a fan of, if you are even familiar of. But also, you want to make a product that is easily presentable to somebody who isn't familiar with any of this guy's music. So if you aren't familiar with lilbootycall, that last statement is accomplished here. I think that the way that he does show off his talents is freaking really cool, and does show off a lot of just brilliant writing. That's where like a lot of my love for this album has come from, is just the ability to write just really phenomenally catchy hooks, really well structured songs. Like, the structure of this album is extremely impressive. So yeah, that should not be understated on this thing. Hell, there's even points where, like with 18K featuring Juicy J, you have parts where it literally, like, the hook on that sounds like it was written by Juicy J. It's being performed by lilbootycall. Can almost assure you that it was written by lilbootycall. So it's like he's writing hooks that sound like they're being written by like quote unquote OG legend type people, and it sounds refreshing. It doesn't sound out of place. And Juicy J, you know, just does normal ass shit on like what you would expect from a Juicy J feature, but Lil Booty Call like creates this whole song around it to where it's like, even if it is kind of just like a throwaway Juicy J verse, it just exists and works, and it complements the overall track because everything else is so goddamn good that it just kind of just exists in this higher level. Whereas like I feel like if it was a lesser song, it would really stand out just how bad Juicy J's verse would be as well. Standout tracks to me though, I do want to shout out 18K Prescriptions featuring Gold Link is good, 777. All the features on this really cool, really fun. But 2 tracks I want to shout out for sure. Band-Aid starts out the whole album. I love that song a whole goddamn lot. So can't recommend that enough. The beat, just the catchiness. That's another one where it's like not so flashy. It's just kind of like there, but also like introduces the album in a really good way. I find it myself like once I start Band-Aid, I can't not like continue on to Hate Me, etc. But one track that I do want to shout out, and I believe it is 666, and I think this is the song where he talks about how like he's struggling with the idea of, and maybe it's not him, but just like this person is struggling with the idea of like ending it all, because they know when that happens, all they're gonna see is like hell, and that's like equally as worse, or like struggling with the idea of if that could be worse. So like that whole like concept and the way it's written is really fucking good, and definitely got me just fucking rewinding it just to be impressed again with the writing. And I think if there's anything you got to take away from, it's the production as well as the writing. The performance vocally does have its times where it comes across way better than some tracks like do, but it definitely doesn't take away from the overall just presentation of this album. Definitely enjoying it. Can't really say much more. Jesus Said Run It Back by Lil Booty Call is an album that you should check out if you haven't been familiar with him prior. Let me know in the comment section below if you have heard this album. Let me know what you thought. Follow me on Twitter at YoGarrett, YoOGRTT, Instagram as well. Now Notation on those 2 platforms as well. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much again for all the support. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that is all, folks.